the 8-time Louisiana State champions. 2 storied programs that have produced a host of big-time names, from NFL stars to collegiate standouts. Tonight, De La Salle puts the nation's longest high school football win streak on the line, which begs the question. First time ever on national TV, we bring you America's best high school football team, the De La Salle High School Spartans.
Out of the last 10 years, 8 of them, you guys have won the state championship. You guys are the champions. You're coming in here as champions. So put your head up and walk like champions when you walk on that field, and you'll play like champions.
We're coming here from Diablo Valley College in Pleasant Hill, California, some 20 miles northeast of San Francisco. It's the Juicy Fruit High School Football Classic. The De La Salle High Spartans of Concord, California, the nation's top-ranked team, against Evangel Christian Academy from Shreveport, Louisiana. Hello and welcome. Glad you could join us here on ESPN2. Dave Ryan, Rod Gilmore. Thoughts from Rob Stone in a moment. It's amazing to think, Rob, about this win streak. 144 games. Last time they lost, De La Salle, was sometime in December of '91. when George Bush Sr. was the president in office. This team is in the midst of a 12th consecutive undefeated season. Are they the best ever team is the question.
Well, I think they're the best team in high school football right now. I mean, think about this. 3 national titles in a row, going for their 4th this year. An outstanding team, but there are some non-believers. They say, hey, they haven't played anyone outside of California except St. Louis of Hawaii. They haven't played Florida, not Ohio, not Texas. How can they be the best? Well, I'm not sure that's the case. But this streak, 144, are you kidding me? Let's, think about what we've seen in streaks. UCLA Bruins basketball, 88 games in a row under John Wooden. Oklahoma football, 47 games in a row. Now we're talking about 144 for a high school football team. That's outstanding. Yeah, I think they're the best in the country right now.
Incredible. And amazing numbers, too, of the Evangel Christian Academy out of Shreveport, Louisiana. They started high school football, Rod, in 1989, and since then, they've won 8 state championships in different classes. They played games at the Superdome in New Orleans in front of 40,000. They've won 2 straight state champions as well in the state of Louisiana, but they've had a lot of controversy off the field. Much more on that. Let's head to the studio now and Reese Davis.
Get ready, okay?
Okay, Dave, and you are indeed right. Evangel has endured some controversy. Trev Alberts and Mark May with me. We will hear from them in just a moment. Evangel Christian Academy is the educational arm of the First Assembly of God Church. Didn't even have a football team, as Dave mentioned, as recently as 15 years ago. But since school chancellor Denny Duran started the program at the tiny school of about 300 high school students, Evangel has transformed into a high school football behemoth in Louisiana. The 8 state titles, national title in '99. Evangel attracts top athletes from the Shreveport area and beyond. The clouds of controversy and allegations have hovered over Evangel for nearly 3 years. Head coach Dennis Dunn remains a defendant in a civil suit which accuses him of having a year-long sexual relationship with a girl, a minor, who was a student at Evangel at the time. As a result, Dunn did not coach the 2001 season. Authorities in Texas and Louisiana dropped all criminal charges against Dunn last year, citing a lack of evidence. Dunn reassumed his head coaching position. This offseason, it was not sexual allegations, but religious differences that sparked the latest flare-up. Evangel Chancellor Denny Duran, who's also the offensive coordinator on the football team, fired noted quarterback guru Johnny Booty before this season over what was termed a ministry matter. Apparently, the two had a philosophical dispute over a Bible study organized by Booty. Booty coached the team to a state title during Dunn's 2001 absence. His son is the highly touted quarterback John David Booty, who was to have played in this game tonight. But after his father was fired from Evangel, John David, who already had enough credits to finish high school, enrolled at Southern California and is now the Trojans' top backup quarterback. We're going to talk a little bit more about this entire dynamic in high school football at halftime. But, Mark, on the field right now, the absence of John David Booty, who Evangel thought they would have this year, tremendous impact tonight?
Oh, it's a huge impact tonight. You've got a quarterback that's thrown for over 8,400 yards and 88 touchdowns and still had a year of eligibility left to play in high school football. Now, this teenager is the backup quarterback for the 4th-ranked USC Trojans. That's how good he is. If he was playing tonight, Evangel would most likely be 6-0 rather than 4-2 coming into this game.
Now, we've got a team from Louisiana making the trip to play a team from California. This is just like the way you guys used to do it in Iowa, right?
I just can't imagine how different high school football is today than it was back when I played, 1989. I remember 1989 playing for the NU High Little Panthers in Cedar Falls, Iowa. My high school football coach was Denny Kettner. He's also my math teacher. We played away trips. He was the bus driver. He went down Highway 20 in the blacktop, through a little bit of cornfields, get to Ackley, take on the Ackley Geneva Raiders. Come on, I mean, that's high school football, right? We don't have teams going from one state to the other. I mean, it's unbelievable.
That had to be
Purest form of football is high school football.
You weren't even the Panthers.
Well, we'll enjoy a little high school football coming up tonight. We'll also have our high school showcase game of the week, which is from the state of Florida as well. Maybe a little bit of bragging rights going on that Rod Gilmore mentioned in the open. But right now, we are ready for the longest winning streak in high school football, taking on Evangel.
Reese, 144 games and counting. That is the question. We are ready to go. De La Salle, the Spartans in the home greens, will kick off. Jonathan Gio will handle the duties in high school football. A kick from the 40-yard line. Jacob Hester, 13 in the white jersey, a star running back. They call him a freight train. Is back deep with Dietrich James over the head of Hester. That will be a touchback. And that means Evangel with their junior quarterback, Denny Duran, who has moved from receiver when, as Reese mentioned, John David Booty left the program prior to his senior season. He moved on to USC where he's the backup. Duran, great arm strength, also a baseball shortstop and a Division I baseball prospect. You'll see him display that strong arm rod out of a deep shotgun, which can be as deep as 9 yards.
Yeah.
Spread offense here, no huddle. Hester is the man in motion. He's got a catch, and he's buried right away by Terrence Kelly. Danny Duran relying heavily upon star running back Jacob Hester, bound for the University of Texas next fall. A converted linebacker has become the school's all-time leading rusher. And Connor Campbell just had that catch, another Division I prospect as well. Loss of 4, and look how deep Duran is, and instead it's a quick snap right to Hester, the star running back. He gets a couple yards, and that's about all. The offensive line for Evangel is absolutely mammoth. Doug Stroud blocks out the sun, folks, literally at 6'7", 325 pounds. They call him D1 Doug because he's a Division I prospect. He's also a black belt in Taekwondo.
Oops, don't mess with him. Yeah.
Not someone you want to mess with. Hester is the man in motion. Deep snap again. Denny Duran, the junior quarterback, fires, and that is incomplete. As he looks there for Parker on the far side. Good coverage from Willie Glasper, 15 in the green jersey, and right away, Evangel Christian's got a punt.
You know, Dave, you mentioned the deep shotgun that they use offensively. It'll bear watching throughout the night to see if they can actually, De La Salle, that is, get pressure on him, because he's about 12 yards deep after he gets the shotgun snap.
Jared Jennings is the punter. He stands back inside his 5. Release at about the 7. Left foot handles all the kicking duties. Cameron Colvin lost the ball. You cannot advance a muff. You won't be able to advance that, folks, for a touchdown. But Cameron Colvin, the star wide receiver, lost the handle, and Evangel Christian's going to get it right back at that spot.
And, Dave, he was very tentative from the start. And Colvin didn't move up right away on the ball. It was dying right off the bat, right off the foot. You could tell that. But he hesitated coming up.
Disregard the flag. The ball was touched by the receiving team. White has recovered. First down at the spot of recovery.
There's Dale Newhouse, our referee. 33-yard punt from Jennings, and a great break for Evangel Christian. Another look here, Ron.
Well, you see the very end of it there, the ball getting loose. Colvin hesitating to come up on that punt, and he should have just moved away from it after he hesitated. It's tough.
Senior linebacker Reagan Burns picked that ball up. Wanted to scoot to pay dirt, but he cannot advance him up. Quick handoff. It's again Hester. 235 pounds of him. He is eventually brought down after a gain of about 5 yards. The Sal defense, this is a small D-line, folks. They average about 220 pounds. And both guys up front in Velo and Fujimoto will go both ways. Evangel does not run Players both ways. Quick shovel is completely smothered to Hester. Absolutely nothing doing. Linebacking core, Stroud, Kelly, and Hanks. There's Bob Latisseur telling us that Kelly and Hanks have been the keys, real staples to the defense all year long. Movement on the line. We'll see from our fine officiating crew here who the guilty party is.
I think they're going to get Chris Biller on the right side jumping just a little bit soon.
Prior to the snap, encroachment on the defense. Still third down.
Secondary has some speed. Colvin back for a second game after the academic suspension cost him 5 to start the season. Willie Glasper, another fine two-way player, very good cover corner. Saw Cameron Colvin, the top prospect in this game, muffed punt early.
Check out the shotgun formation. It's a punt formation.
Just about. 9+ yards. We told you about Duran's arm there. He's got it to Parker. Nice play. That's inside the 20-yard line of the 19 of De La Salle. Pickup of 17 yards. And we told you about he's a baseball shortstop. He's got the gun.
Well, you see the arm. I mean, when you start 9 yards deep and then you drop back 4 or 5 more yards, there's no way the defensive line is going to get to you. I don't care if you're talking about the high school level, college level, or pro level. I mean, that's such a deep shotgun drop. There's no way you can get sacked.
An official timeout. John Parker on the receiving end of that catch. 6 foot, 175-pound junior. His older brother, Steve, was a national record holder, a receiver at Evangel Christian, but did not play college football. Again, that quick snap goes to Jacob Hester, and the freight train, as they call them, bowling over tacklers. Terrence Kelly made some contact at the 15-yard line, but Hester has got quite a wallop to pack there. 10th season as the Evangel head coach and 8 state championships. Incredible record Dennis Dunn has compiled in Shreveport. Folks, this is an academy of about 500 people, students within the high school ranks. It's a K-12 school, and they play in the largest high school class in Louisiana because no one else can beat them in the smaller classes. They're driving well against the nation's #1 right now. No score, first quarter.
There's a drive deep to right field. It is gone.
The World Series on ESPN Radio. Go to ESPNradio.com to find the Fall Classic in your town.
My tomatoes.
Oh, my Gentleman in the middle without the hat, that is Bob Latisseur. Around these parts, an absolute high school coaching legend. 25th year at De La Salle, took over the position in his 20s and has led them to an unbelievable 144-game win streak.
He answered an ad for a football coach. One of the best things he ever did.
Was it ever? High school Hall of Fame coach. He started here as the head man in '79. Second down, little counter give up the middle, not much there for Evangel Christian. Shreveport, Louisiana, the visiting Whites here against De La Salle High School. They are the Spartans and the #1 ranked team in the nation in the home greens.
You know, as we watched Evangel Christian on tape, you notice that they do a lot of shotgun, but they do go under center sometime. And when they go under center, they have a high tendency to run the ball. They very rarely throw when they're under center.
3rd and short, but 4-down territory certainly for them. Quick hitter right up the middle. And Hester stumbling forward for first down yardage. Jacob to about the 7, plenty. It'll be 1st and goal now for Evangel Christian.
Well, Hester's got to do that kind of stuff. He's figuring on being a fullback at Texas come next year. He's giving them an oral commitment.
He goes, 235 right now. He's down 25 pounds from last year when he was a linebacker and as a freshman led this team in tackles.
They've got some running backs, quarterback at Texas, Vincent Young.
He's very excited. He'll be a Texas Longhorn next year. Quick hitter again right up the middle. Not much there for him this time. Jacob Hester on one of his shoulders we saw yesterday, Rod, has the Bevo Texas Longhorn logo on his shoulder tattoo. I believe it's right on that right shoulder there.
You know what that means?
For number 13.
Yeah, you know what it means?
What's that?
He's committed. He cannot change his mind. He is going to Texas.
Mac Brown promised him he could wear 13 all the way through. See the number 10 there as well. Rob Stone, third member of our crew, will tell us much more about that. It's to honor John David Booty. The war number 10 at Evangel Christian last year. Here is Hester, Rudy's good buddy, stumbling ahead. Fujimoto makes some contact right up front along with Dan Hennessy and Kyle Baylau.
Well, the one thing about the De La Salle defense, they're not very big, but they're incredibly quick and aggressive up front. They're the same way on their offensive line. They get off the ball very quickly. They're giving a lot of size, you know, to the Evangel Christian offensive line.
Terry Edson, longtime defensive coordinator and teaches a religious studies class at De La Salle. It's a private Catholic school, about 15 minutes from where we are here in Northern California. Rolling right, Duran, end zone, back of the end zone there, and incomplete. A lot of bodies there. Good coverage from Donnie Payne, 32 in the green jersey.
And they also had Terrence Kelly over there, 28, and he has hops. Kelly can get up. Look at these guys. They got 3 guys showing you they can get up off the ground in the corner of the end zone.
Looked like it was intended for Ronaldo Green. Jennings will come in. Field goals this year. Jared is 2 for 4. He's a 5'11", 170-pound senior, left-footed boot. And he's got it. We're playing wider uprights than we would in the college game. 5 feet wider, 23 feet, 6 inches. The Juicy Fruit High School Football Classic is brought to you by Juicy Fruit. Gotta have Twisted Sweet, gotta have new Juicy Fruit Paper Melon and Strappleberry. By John Grisham's Bleachers, available in bookstores everywhere. And by Volkswagen, on the road of life, there are passengers and there are drivers. Absolutely incredible night for high school football in Northern California. Pleasant Hill, about 20 miles from San Francisco. Not far from the East Bay of Oakland as well.
Are those thundersticks?
I believe so.
I thought that was only used around the World Series. Or
Plenty of enthusiasm. Great start for Evangel Christian from Shreveport, Louisiana. Jennings gets set to kick off. Rod, yesterday they practiced twice. They had an afternoon session and evening session. When they arrived here on Wednesday, they had a slight practice at the same field, about an hour. And this morning, a walkthrough in their parking lot. Coach Dunn has got this team ready.
That's a little bit unusual. I mean, I don't think many high school teams practice twice the day before a game.
Jennings to kick off. Glasper at his own 4-yard line. Willie Glasper trying the right side. Looks for a seam. Spins away from trouble. And is knocked down at the 21-yard line. 17-yard return. Kevin Lapina, solid leader, junior quarterback, his first year as a starter. Loves Peyton Manning of the Indianapolis Colts. More pressure on this young man to keep the streak going as a starting quarterback. Rock, can you imagine?
Yeah, but you know, he's a very good athlete. He gets a lot of support from his guys. He was in a passing league over the summer, refining his skills, getting to know these guys. He's been really good for them this season.
Unlike that spread, no huddle shotgun. Traditional snap. It's Kelly. Big yardage. About 11 yards for Terrence Kelly, the converted tight end, who's become a star running back for the Spartans. Talented skill players behind Lapina. Bob Ladisur using 3 running backs led by Terrence Kelly, the converted tight end. Willie Glasper, good speed. Colvin, the game's top college prospect. The offensive line does not bowl you over with big numbers. They average 218 pounds, folks. That's it. They're much smaller than the team from Shreveport, giving up size to every team they play, but fundamentally they're very sound. Most of the players will see time on the defensive side of the ball as well.
And they get off the line of scrimmage very quickly.
You'll see how fast. Second and 1, it was 9 yards officially. Here's Colvin. First time Cameron Colvin touches the ball. And a late flag. After the hit, out of bounds. Could cost Evangel some yardage.
Dead ball, personal foul, late hit out of bounds on the defense, 15 yards, will result in the first down.
Now you heard it from the referee. Tack on 15 yards. Colvin gets crushed out of bounds.
It looks like they got Josh Barron for kind of piling on at the end over there, because the first hit was a good hit. The first hit took Colvin out of bounds.
Colvin is thinking about Miami, Michigan, USC, Oregon, Florida State. Those are his top 5 right now. An incredible story we'll talk about throughout the evening. 26 in the green jersey, splits the top of the screen in Colvin. The slant play, and he hangs on. That's the Division I potential we're talking about, despite taking a big hit on the slant. Colvin somehow retains possession. A great catch.
Well, he's big time. He's one of these guys that has been on the recruiting circuit. Last summer, he was out at Miami at their football camp, impressed people down there, has a number of scouts checking him out. They want him at the places you mentioned. He's a big guy, great speed, and very tough.
About 6'2", 190 right now. We watched him out in practice yesterday. Talk about a gazelle. Big-time wheels. Movement at the line. We'll find out which team is the guilty party here. The Eagles a 3-0 lead. And De La Salle in some unfamiliar territory, actually facing a deficit here tonight.
Prior to the snap, encroachment, defense.
But going back to Colvin for a second, he missed a bit of the season because of academic troubles, and so they're getting him back involved now.
Well, against that smaller De La Salle offensive line, the defensive front looks to get into the backfield. Nose guard Tim Henderson, 305 pounds. Texas Tech, Ole Miss, Oregon are interested in him. Texas Tech has already offered a full scholarship to Tim Henderson, who has a size 16 shoe, and he's 16 years old. Talk about a man-child. Kelly is pushed forward, lost the ball at the end of the run, looked like he was down at about the 31-yard line. He needs the 29 for a first down. All-American defensive end Chris Powers, nicknamed the sack man for good reason, another blue-chip Division I prospect. Nebraska wants him. He leads the Eagles with 6 sacks this year. In the secondary, Travis White, Wes Winston, the top cover men, both will be tested by the great skills of Cameron Colvin. We saw that already on the great catch.
Well, you've seen a lot from the De La Salle offense already. They will run the veer option. They will run some power and counter, and then they have play action pass off of that entire package. So they will give you a lot of different looks offensively.
Alex Stroud, 11 in the green jersey, and Colvin are split to the right. 3 receivers now as Glasper, who can run up as a running back as well, line up in that spot, is in the slot. Stroud, motion man. It's Colvin. Trying to bust through that seam with the good wheels. Hangs on, and has got first down yardage to the 24-yard line of Evangel Christian.
That's an automatic
first down.
5 or 6 yards whenever he touches the ball like that. That is simply get the ball out to your premier athlete and let him make a play. See, they got him going in motion, hit him on the screen coming back inside, and once he gets going, he's a real problem. There's nobody faster on the field.
We've heard different reports and stats on the 40-yard dash time of Cameron Colvin. I've heard 4.31. I've heard in the 4.4s. Regardless, an absolute prospect. It's Kelly bursting through. Terrence Kelly 1 step away from a touchdown. More first down yards to the 11 of the Eagles. Back to the studio and Reese Davis.
Dave, high school showcase game of the week. Great state of Florida. Palm Bay taking on Cocoa. Palm Bay's wearing the black. This is Sean Weidberg finding Xavier Carter for the touchdown. Palm Bay, number 5 in USA Today. They're on top of the Fighting Carrot Tops, guys. Carrot Top went to Cocoa.
All right, Reese, we've got number 1 in that poll right here. The De La Salle Spartans, the green jerseys, they are driving. Kelly again. Terrence Kelly bursting through. Touchdown, De La Salle. 11-yard burst to pay dirt for Kelly, who incredibly enough had been a tight end his whole career until 3 games ago. Switched to running back because of injury, and has he ever risen to the occasion, Ron?
Yeah, he stepped in for Jackie Bates, who is a real speedster in the backfield. But Kelly is underrated. He really doesn't get the attention he deserves. He's 6 feet, 215 pounds. He can play a multitude of positions, obviously. He's very talented.
Oregon, Cal, Washington, and Arizona State. Nice selection of Pac-10 schools interested in the services of Terrence Kelly, the senior. Gio tacks on the PAT, and for the first time tonight, the top-ranked team in the nation, making their national TV debut, has a lead thanks to Kelly at 7-3.
There's nothing tougher than the road to the Super Bowl. But when you use your Visa card, you'll be automatically entered to win a trip to the Super Bowl with a party along the way. Win Visa's Road to the Super Bowl sweepstakes and you'll host a game day barbecue party for 25 friends, a trip for 4 to the NFC or AFC Championship game, and 4 tickets to the ultimate destination, the Super Bowl. Watch Sunday Night Football at 8:30 on ESPN and go to Visa.com/NFL for Visa's Road to the Super Bowl now.
Hurry to Town & Country Toyota's pre-owned Super Center on the corner of I-485 and South Boulevard.
Terrence Kelly, outstanding running back, former tight end, and we told you about his college prospects, some major D1 programs interest. How about the small offensive line here, Rod?
Small but effective. Take a look at the blocks by Fujimoto, the right guard, and Lama, the center. They get off the ball so quickly. Look at this. They beat Evangel Christian to the punch significantly. I mean, if you get the first punch, you're going to win the fight.
9-play drive, 6 first downs, including 1 by that penalty.
How far off the ball did they push him? 3 yards, 4 yards?
218 pounds is all they average. They're giving up about 40 pounds on average in this game on both sides of the ball. If you look at the numbers, including those behemoth linemen for the Eagles.
It's all about
300 plus
technique.
pounds.
All about technique.
Right. Great lesson for all of us. Yo, kicking off from the 40. Take it there. Dietrich James looks for room. Tripped up just outside the 30-yard line by Danny Ladouceur. Head coach Bob Ladouceur's son. Third member of our crew, as promised, is Rob Stone.
Dave, interesting offensive system the Eagles utilize. They all have wristbands and they have a flip card, a yellow side and a blue side. They have the plays listed on it. Also gives some protections. They also have a white card they utilize when they go in and do the huddle formation, which obviously they're not in right now. Interesting, though, that the quarterback can audibilize on every single play. He can change any play to any play he wants at any time of the game. The Eagles offense flies as high as their QB.
Do they ever? Here's Denny Duran, the quarterback. Here is Campbell. Connor on a quick little screen slant almost. Unique to high school football. Another nice pickup.
Now, what was that we were talking about yesterday about how they start people in the system at Evangel Christian early, 3rd grade, 4th grade, so that by the time they're in high school, they know the passing tree very well. They've known it for years. They know how to run the offense.
Everyone is familiar with it. Denny Duran's younger brothers have been here in the hotel. We're staying at the same hotel as the folks from Evangel Christian. They've been playing football in the parking lot this morning. They're working on those plays already. Pass broken up. Reflected at the line of scrimmage. Intended there for Campbell on the far side. Falls incomplete. And that'll set up 3rd down coming up for the Eagles. We're coming here from the Juicy Fruit High School Football Classic. Diablo Valley College, Pleasant Hill, California. We're in Northern California, not far from San Francisco. Great high school action here. Team of the Green, De La Salle High, #1 ranked team in the nation with a 144 game win streak. Team in the white, Evangel Christian, Shreveport, Louisiana, trying to break it. Duran passing over the middle, nearly intercepted by Parker Hanks at midfield, a linebacker who's had a great season for Bob Ladouceur. Had that one drop incomplete. Punting situation for the Eagles.
Parker, that was yours, buddy. You know, he's got friends in the stands, friends at home thinking he's going to make a big play on television. Chance of a lifetime. It's right through his hands. We've all been there, though, haven't we? We've all been there.
You have. Speak for yourself.
We've all been there.
Colvin muffed the last one. He's waiting back deep with Glassman. Bunt lands and takes a nice eagle bounce at the 42 all the way down to about the 26-yard line of De La Salle. And that is where they'll take over 1st and 10. We are playing just 4 12-minute quarters, folks, so it seems like the game has moved quickly. It has, and they are shorter quarters, 3 per. Concord, California, in a private school of just over 1,000 students, tuition near $8,500 a year. They do not give out scholarships, but financial aid is provided to kids in the area who can't come up with that kind of tuition money.
It's a very good academic school. Some 97, 98% of their students go on to 2- or 4-year colleges. UC Berkeley is a very popular school among the students at De La Salle.
About 6 miles from where we are, 4 exits or so on the 680, right? You see that out here in California?
Yep.
Everything is the. Little misdirection. Lapina, the keeper. And he's got a lot of room. Midfield and more. Finally knocked out of bounds in Eagle territory. All the way to the 45-yard line. 30-yard pickup there for the quarterback, Lapina.
Well, when you have a difference maker, as you do with Colvin, you open things up for other players. And Lapina took advantage of that because Colvin was double covered. Guys ran with him, leaving the entire left side open for Lapina just to come out of the pocket and take off down the field.
To the 44 officially of the Eagles. 1st and 10, under 2 to go in the first quarter. Up the middle they go. Dominguez carries. And Mike, who's a senior at 5'11", 180 pounds, with a touchdown run against Foothill High in one of their recent games at 30 yards.
So if you want to get to De La Salle in Concord, you go into Oakland. You just get on freeway from Oakland and you go east. You go away from San Francisco. San Francisco, you go west. You go east across the hill. It takes you about 20, 25 minutes to get across the hill and out to this area where it's a lot hotter in this area than it is in San Francisco or Oakland. About 10 or 15 degrees hotter over here.
It is warm. And a lot of the Evangel players in the hotel saying, we're not used to this kind of heat, although down in Shreveport it's pretty hot. Different sort of heat. Lack of humidity. Dominguez again, the quick hitter right up the middle, bust into the secondary of the Eagles. First down yardage to the 30, where he'll be spotted. Evangel Christian.
It's all about the little guys up front. Take a look at 52, Mike Vittori. You can't see him, he's on the left side there, but his side of the line, he just crushed everybody on the Evangel Christian side. I mean, those guys, it's amazing how they're able to dominate guys that outweigh them by so much more. They get off the ball incredibly quickly, and they are tenacious. They stay on you.
Pickup of 10 there. The third leading rusher on this team is Mike Dominguez, the senior. He's out of the game for now. Slant pattern in. It's Colvin. Incomplete at the 15-yard line, knocked aside. Pretty good coverage there from Evangel Christian. And on the coverage, Josh Perron, among others.
You know, you and I look at tape and we hear people talk about De La Salle and they say, hey, what's so special about them? They don't have a huge offensive line. They've got one star player in this guy. You know, they've got some other guys who are good players, but he's the one great player. And other schools who play them, they look at him and they go, we can handle them. We've got more talent. And it hasn't been the case. You think about a Long Beach Poly that took them on a couple times and figured they had so much more talent, they dominate them. No way.
Travis White, you saw number 6 a moment ago, top cover man for Evangel Christian. Quick handoff. It's Glasper trying the left side, and this time the Eagles not through. He gets back to about the original line of scrimmage where it should be 3rd and 10 for the Spartans coming up.
You know, you look at Evangel Christian, they've had trouble getting games in Louisiana. It's one of the reasons why they're playing anyone who'll play them. They go to other states to play because they can only really get about 4 home games in their area. They're too good, and they have to go other places to play people.
Here's Denny Duran, the offensive coordinator and chancellor of the school, and that'll do it for the first quarter of play. And it has been exciting. The nation's #1 ranked team with a 144-game win streak on the line just has a 4-point lead on the Eagles, who have made the long trip from Shreveport, Louisiana. Terrence Kelly, big touchdown run. Lapina, the quarterback, has directed very strong drives so far in the early going. Second quarter yet to come.
It's Ashley's 10th birthday.
Give me some. Oh, cool. New Juicy Fruit Stapleberry.
Long trip for the folks from Shreveport, Louisiana. A couple hundred have made the journey, which for the players started Wednesday morning at 5 a.m. local time. They took a bus to Dallas and a flight to San Jose and started practicing right away. I mean, these guys don't miss an opportunity to work out. Their first game of the year on artificial turf, and so far they're holding their own against the nation's #1 team.
Yeah, and the only mistake the nation's #1 team made was a muff punt in the first quarter. And it was Cameron Colvin who dropped that ball, led to a field goal, but that's been it. After that domination by the offensive line of De La Salle, Terrence Kelly getting the only touchdown of the game.
Lapina facing the first 3rd down situation of the game for De La Salle. Down he goes. He's sacked there by Wes Winston, the defensive back. Little blitz coming from the secondary. Pays off for Evangel Christian.
Well, you got it just right. They had pressure coming from the upside, the top side of the screen. No one picked it up. Looked like it could have been a check off there. Didn't get him.
Jonathan Gio will be set to punt here. Winston would like to be an attorney someday. We can give him some advice on that.
Don't.
The advice is don't?
Don't.
Oh, come on.
No.
Ruin the young man's dreams like that.
I will talk to him.
Another left-footed kicker in Gio. No one back as they try to rush the punt. Takes a nice bounce for De La Salle. And there's Glassberg to down it inside the 10-yard line. That's where the Eagles take over after we hear from Rob Stone.
Dave, they take their special teams serious here in California, especially at De La Salle. What I have in my hand is a special teams application. You actually have to fill out an application to be on the special team. Some of the questions, are you the truth? Why or why not? My favorite question, what would you do if you saw your mother running with the football? I have one player's answer to that question coming up after this play. You'll want to stay tuned. It's a good one.
Okay, all right.
Terry Edson, he is the defensive coordinator and the special teams coach and a religious studies teacher at De La Salle. Very busy. He asked Terry before the game, unless some of these coaches haven't gone to the college level. Not much doing it all for Hester as he is smothered under. Hit hard by Chris Biller. Rob, you want to finish that story?
Yeah, you guys know DJ Williams, right? Stud linebacker at Miami. He played here at De La Salle. So he attached a videotape to his special teams application. And what he had? He had his mom dressed up in a football outfit, returning a kick, and he laid her out. And I'm talking a serious smack. She still has back pain. They have video proof of it. We just couldn't find it.
You can't hit your mom.
He did. He's hardcore, man.
You know DJ's watching right now.
Oh, can't hit your mom.
Are happy Virginia Tech in the Big East loss. Rod, you saw that game the other night. Duran throwing from the end zone, incomplete. Looking for Parker on that far side. Gutierrez on the coverage, and it sets up 3rd and 11 for Coach Dunn and Coach Duran, the offensive coordinator, who's a volunteer coach. That's him with a headset there.
Let's go, Eagles protect.
As we mentioned, the chancellor of the school. So we saw with Coach Edson various duties. This is not just a football job only for these gentlemen.
It's a little different in high school, and you think about these coaches teaching math. You know, you heard Trev mention that. Religious studies is big with both these schools, and a lot of these coaches teach that as well.
Ron's son is the quarterback. D-Rod, they call him. Snap goes to Hester again. They've used that play quite a bit. They had to get all the way to the 21-yard line for a first down. He stopped well shy of that at about the 12, and that is where the Eagles must punt away again.
Well, this is sort of the De La Salle formula. They rely on their defense to really shut things down. Their offense will be patient and push you and push you. They'll break something, and before you know it, you're down by 17. You're down by 24. Their defense is so good. They've only given up, I think, a couple of touchdowns this season.
Jared Jennings averaging over 32 yards a kick, 15 punts for 515 yards heading into this game tonight. He's been pretty busy. Leasing from the goal line. He turned that over beautifully. Missile kick. Again, Colvin drops it. Second time it's happened, but he recovers this time. Now tries to work his magic. Penalty flags down. He's buried. Stood up and dropped backwards at the 42-yard line. And that is where at least the ball is spotted for now by the officials. There could be a penalty reversing. 45-yard kick, just 1 yard on the return from Cameron Colvin.
Well, you know, it's surprising to see him muff a ball again. He has such good hands. We saw him in practice yesterday, and I don't think he dropped anything.
Not one.
I mean, he looked like he had just magnets for hands.
Guarding the run back. Illegal block in the back by the receiving team. 10 yards from the spot of the foul. It will be first down, Green.
We'll tell you more about Cameron Colvin when we return. It's been a difficult off-field situation for him, certainly. Missed some games this year as well. 7-3, De La Salle has a lead.
Who's rising? Who's shining? Who's next? ESPN the magazine. On newsstands now.
Barbecue tastes anytime when you gather around the good stuff.
In a small town where winning is everything, a legendary quarterback learns life's most important lesson. It's never just a game. Read Bleachers, the new novel by John Grisham.
Available on bookstores everywhere.
Bad news for the Eagles. Dietrich James has had some injury problems. He's being looked at in the sideline. That's Travis White as well, also being attended to with his shoulder, so we'll check those injuries out with Rob Stone in a moment. Shreveport, Louisiana, the host city of Evangel Christian, the school that just came about 23 years ago. It's incredible. From 89 until now, 8 state championships. Building a program can't be easy.
Well, that's amazing. And like we said, people won't play them in Louisiana. They have to go to other states to get enough games.
They must have 9 games for Coach Dunn on the schedule this year. It's all they could schedule. No one else wants to take them on. They've battled some schools from Alabama, from Florida, from here in California. The Kansas City, Missouri state champion team as well. They have 2 losses this year with their 4 wins, but they've had to take on some of the best.
Well, you know, you heard Trev and Mark and Reese talk about the Booty, the John Booty situation, his being at USC, and they're right. If he were playing for this team, I believe they'd be undefeated right now. I mean, he's that talented a quarterback, and he would make a huge difference with this team.
He's already seen some action with USC. Backup quarterback at just 18 years old. An amazing story itself. And that's before the summer session down in Shreveport, enrolled at USC early and has made an impact as a true freshman. Carry up the middle from Kelly. Not much doing from Terrence on that one. Tomorrow night, ESPN and ESPN2. 2 great SEC matchups. First at 7:15 Eastern. 4 here on the West Coast on ESPN2. Eli Manning. Ole Miss look to remain unbeaten in the SEC as they host Arkansas. And then at 7:45 on ESPN2. Clarence Cadillac Williams squares off against the 9th-ranked LSU Tigers. What a game last week for him, huh?
Yeah, I tell you, Auburn looks like they have pretty much figured it out now. After that 0-2 start, I think they've hit their stride.
Top 25 and counting. Tommy Tuberville. Keeper Lapina's got first down yardage. Leading the 44. He's to the 47-yard line. Of De La Salle keeps the drive going here in the second quarter.
During our break, we heard the Evangel Christian coaches talking to their players on the sideline, and they saw what we've been seeing up here. Up front, De La Salle killing them.
Bad news for De La Salle. That is Kevin Lapina, the junior quarterback and starter, who's shaken up. Anthony Gutierrez is his backup. His older brother, Matt, is now backup quarterback to John Navarre at Michigan.
Well, during the summer, they were pretty close. I mean, Gutierrez is a very talented player. He's very athletic, and there was some speculation as to which one of them would win the job. So there's not a huge drop-off when Gutierrez comes in here. He's a talented player.
Gutierrez's older brother, Matt, did play at De La Salle as well en route to Ann Arbor, and here's a look at what happened.
It looks like he did it himself. It wasn't the hit that did it. He started to go down before that. This is very old turf. I mean, this is not the new stuff that you see in a lot of places. This is that AstroTurf that's been around for a while. It's very hard. It sticks. It grabs. There are seams in it. And that's just part of the price you get when you play on places like this. You see, he just gets caught there. His foot just sticks to the turf.
Rob Stone down below on the Spartan sideline. We'll find out what he can, and we'll bring it to you as quickly as possible. So Gutierrez comes in. He did play in the team's last game against Freedom High. Was 1 for 5, 35 yards in the air, and he's passing on his first play of the game. Looking down, field for Colvin, and Cameron up. Had it deflected away. At the last moment, it falls incomplete. Glenson Stewart on coverage.
Gutierrez is not shy, and like I said, he played throughout the summer with Colvin and others on this team in the passing leagues, and that's one of those new phenomena we've seen in high school football over the last few years. Everyone is in a passing league. They play all summer long, 7-on-7, no linemen, throw the ball around. They get a lot of practice together, so he's an experienced guy, even though he hasn't been a starter. He's worked with these guys and thrown the ball an awful lot. Got a pretty good role model as a brother. Huh?
His older brother, Matt. Saw one-player quarterback against St. Francis High School a couple weeks ago. Keeper might have been a botched play, but it works out pretty well for De La Salle. On the option. He's about 4 yards shy of a Spartan first down. We told you about his older brother, who was a star quarterback here, class of 03, and now playing for Michigan for Lloyd Carr.
Yeah, and there are a lot of folks yelling for him before John Navarre had that huge game against Minnesota. People were calling for Matt to come off the bench as the backup quarterback and take over, and I'm sure he's watching his little brother get some playing time here.
What a comeback that was by the Wolverines that night, huh?
Yeah.
Metrodome against Glen Mason's Gophers. Phenomenal game.
Yeah, pretty special. I think Michigan is back in the hunt.
3rd and 3. Lapina being looked at. Looks like the right knee they're attending to. We'll get the details from Rob as soon as possible. Gutierrez, his backup, keeps. Needed about the 44.5. He's very close. That appears to be a little bit shy from that spot. Back to Rob Stone for an update.
Yeah, Dave, hanging right behind Kevin Lapina. They are, as you said, looking at his right knee, testing the strength and the stability of it right now. You look at his facial expressions, it doesn't seem that he's in too much pain, but you know what? A lot of times situations like this, the pain is the first thing that hits you, and then you just kind of fight through it.
Kevin will have to sit and watch here, Rob, as his backup Gutierrez comes in, and a key 4th down conversion attempt here early. With 6.5 to go in the half, he's got plenty behind the smaller yet fundamentally sound offensive line. He bowls forward to the 40, 1st and 10, De La Salle.
Yeah, that's a no-brainer. The way that offensive line is dominating, you can go for it on 4th and short. I mean, look at this surge. Together, collectively, and look how they knock Evangel Christian on their backs. I mean, they're just not pushing guys. They're knocking them on their backs.
Pick up a 4 on the play for Gutierrez. A couple rushing touchdowns this year. We've seen him on the ground. Aspect of his game. Looking right at Tim Henderson, 75 in the white jersey. Play action, Gutierrez to throw. Thought about looking for Alex Stroud. Now chasing the pocket and wisely throws the ball away. No one anywhere near with a green jersey. It's out of bounds and incomplete, and that will be intentional grounding as they caught Gutierrez in the act.
Well, that ball may not have passed the line of scrimmage. He threw it out of bounds.
Intentional grounding on the offense. 5 yards from the spot of the pass. Lost it down.
Low-key head coach Bob Ladouceur never gets overly excited. He met with him yesterday, and you would just not guess this is the author of a 144-game win streak. He downplays that. He's not overly emotional by any stretch. He said, well, it's a little bit of luck, a lot of skill we've developed. It's more teaching that we're worried about than the streak.
Well, they've got a little bit more than that. They have a lot of passion about what they do. The players really do. They've bought into this thing. The peer pressure at this school is phenomenal. These guys work out year-round. The coach doesn't have to encourage them to do it. They do it on their own. They're committed to keeping the streak going.
Jeff Tedford at Cal, Mike Bellotti at Oregon, close friends with Bob Ladouceur, who has provided tremendous talent to both of those programs.
Good reason to be a friend.
Yeah, on a regular basis. Screenplay, it's Terrence Kelly. Stood up, but carries the pile. Remember, he's a former tight end who's 215-plus pounds. And he's close to the original line of scrimmage. You mentioned some college coaches. Pretty famous former NFL coach from this area in Monday Night Football. And John Madden has a comment, too.
You'd think a guy, you know, Bob Ladouceur, undefeated, 11 years, would be some wild guy, you know, making big speeches. And he's kind of a quiet guy. And, in fact, I spoke at their banquet a couple of years, and someone was talking about him and saying that if Bob Ladouceur weren't a high school coach, he'd be a priest.
Low-key, like we said.
Yeah, and that's about right. He would be. He studied theology when he was in college.
Gutierrez again running for his life. A little sprint. Glasper has got it, brings it in at the 28-yard line. First down yardage. A nice throw again from Anthony Gutierrez. The numbers off that 12-yard pickup you see from Ladouceur.
You see what he's done in his career. 1995 Coach of the Year, and those things are great, but he doesn't care about any of that. He says the most important thing to him is that his players learn life skills. They learn how to persevere. They learn to trust one another, that they care for one another. And he says that's really the key to what they do here, that they care for one another, they make a commitment to one another, and that carries them through the tough times.
On first down. Gutierrez, right up the middle, it's Kelly again. He again pulls tacklers to about their 22-yard line. Nice pickup from Terrence Kelly. Saw a comment from John Madden a moment ago. His son Joe is a high school coach in this area who has come to several De La Salle practices to try to learn a thing or two about how Coach Lattisour has put together this incredible win streak and program tradition. There must be a lot to pick up.
Well, you know, the players say that he doesn't yell. I mean, he'll give you a look, and it's not a mean look or a stare. It's
What are you talking to Willie about?
it's a look that is one of disappointment, so that you want to clean it up.
Option pitch, it's Kent on second down. Stops in his tracks, and it just nailed right there. Not much room at all for Terrence Kelly running on the right side. Josh Baran, 11, the defensive back, stopped his progress shy of the first down. He needs about the 18. And it'll be 3rd and 3 for Terrence Kelly.
Okay, so you've seen De La Salle on tape. You heard all the stuff. Well, what you expected or not?
Exactly what I expected. Fundamentally sound team. They're not going to bowl over it. They're probably not going to score 100 points a game. It's not that type of team. Total yards so far. And the TOP time of possession certainly has been dominated in the second quarter almost entirely by De La Salle. Just over 3.5 to go in the first half. Screen play, it's Coleman again. Cameron trying to make a move. 10-yard line, dragging tacklers to the 5, and up for a first down. Matt Kramer, the linebacker, dragged him down from behind. Otherwise, he would be in the end zone for another Spartan touchdown. It'll be 1st and goal, De La Salle. Pickup of 16.
He's good. Now you know why there are several schools chasing him. He can play wherever he wants. He can be a wide receiver at the next level. He can be a defensive back. He's got great hips. He can change directions on the dime. And that's what you look for, a guy who's got the wiggle, who can change directions and get the speed in a hurry, top speed. He does that.
Kelly and Glasgow have called him out of the game. On the backs behind Gutierrez. Terrence Kelly looked for his second touchdown. Out the half, and he's got it. That is a strong running back, folks. Welcomes the contact and knocks back the tacklers. 13-3 game off the 5-yard touchdown run from Kelly.
Bowers.
Hard to believe this guy was a tight end for all this time. Coach Bob Lattisour, but because of an injury problem, see those wide uprights there. And in high school football, you cannot advance a muffed, missed, or blocked PAT. Field goal is legal, but not a PAT. In college ball, you can take it back to the 2. Not in high school ball, it just goes as a missed kick. Terrence Kelly, 2 touchdown runs already. That's why De La Salle, top ranked in the nation, has a 10-point lead here in California.
Another touchdown for #1 ranked De La Salle, but a bit of bad news. You're looking at quarterback Kevin Lopina. Just spoke to him. I said, hey, son, are you going to be able to go back in? He's got 2 ice bags on that right knee. He said, I doubt it, and then fighting back tears. Said, I cannot put pressure on it. Spoke with the head trainer. He said he cannot tell me anything until he talks to Lopina's parents first, but all indications his day is done.
It's really, really sad. Really unfortunate. He's such a great player. And it wasn't a hit. The knee just buckled on the turf there. You can see that. It was not any contact. He was trying to make a move. His foot grabbed on the turf, and he went down. It just buckled on him.
14 plays, 65-yard drive there. 6 minutes, 14 seconds, most of which engineered by Anthony Gutierrez, the backup to Lopina, as Gio gets set to kick off from his 40. We saw him in practice yesterday, some serious range. I think he'd probably kick one from 45. Jacob Hester at his own 5, hurdling tacklers. He's out to about the 18-yard line. Sunday night, beginning at 7:30 Eastern Time, 4:30 here on the West Coast. Catch NFL Primetime presented by Miller Lite. We recap all the day's NFL action. Get you ready for Sunday Night Football. Priest Holmes, Dante Hall, and the KC Chiefs hosting Drew Bledsoe and the Bills in an AFC showdown. It's also available in stunning high definition on ESPN HD. Call your local cable operator or DirecTV to order today.
That team has stars, you know. I mean, Priest Holmes, Dante Hall, Tony Gonzalez. See what they did to the Raiders last Monday night?
What a great finish that was. An incredible game. The Coliseum, Networks Associates Coliseum, about 15-20 minutes from where we are here. The deep shotgun again. Duran going deep. Was it brought in by Campbell? What a great catch by Connor Campbell at the 40-yard line. 21-yard pickup for Campbell, who's another Division I prospect we'll see a lot of tonight.
Yeah, the folks at Texas Tech like him. They like this. They've been looking at him, and in that pass-happy offense, he would fit right in. Great job keeping his foot in on the sideline there.
300-plus pound bench press as well. Texas Tech, in addition to Louisiana Tech Rod, are talking to Connor Campbell. There's a good idea why. Shotgun Duran. Denny. Nice open field running. Eventually, Alex Stroud buries him at the 45-yard line.
And a really smart play by Duran. And he looked down the field. What he wanted was Connor Campbell on the left side, but Terrence Kelly was back there deep on it. He didn't go for the pump fake. And Duran figured it out in a hurry and took off. And he's a pretty good athlete. You know, once he gets going, he can pick up some yardage.
Talked about his prowess in the baseball field. Very good shortstop. Would love to play for Smoke Laval at LSU someday, or the Tulane baseball program. Those are his 2 goals. If he doesn't make it on the football field, he is a receiver by trade. Dietrich James, quick handoff, left side, lots of room. And he plows inside the 45-yard line. Down to about the 43, depending on the spot. First down yardage for Evangel.
Well, James is probably the quickest guy on the offense here for Evangel Christian. He gets outside in a hurry. He's got great lateral movement, but that quickness got him to the corner. A good block on the edge here to help him out there.
11-yard pickup there. 2 receivers to the right of Duran. And as Rob said, looking at that wristband that's taped onto his left arm to get the signal. It's a call of a color from his father. Denny Duran, who was the offensive coordinator, see him there with a yellow sheet, top of your screen and the headset. And a timeout called here by Evangel Christian. They're down by 10, but driving. End of the second quarter. More on the way. Breathtaking and extraordinary. Mount Diablo in the distance here in Northern California. Sun still shining there. Down here, we've lost it. Dave Ryan, Rod Gilmore, Rob Stone, our entire crew here, bringing you for the first time ever De La Salle High School from Concord, California, #1 ranked in the nation. In those green jerseys with a 144-game win streak. It's live coverage from Northern California, taking on Evangel Christian Academy from Shreveport, Louisiana. Made a long trip here to try to end Bob Lattiseur's long win streak at 144 in a row. No headsets for the head coach.
No, he's pretty calm and cool on game day. He does his work during the week. Game day, calls a couple plays, takes it easy.
As players tell us last night, before the game, that's the big pregame speech, but again, doesn't get overly fired up. Not a fire and brimstone type person. Duran from that shotgun. It's Hester. Makes the reception, tripped up from behind. Good pursuit on the defense. And a marker down. Matt Drosbaugh brought him down from behind.
Going to be marked off against Evangel Christian.
Holding by the offense. The foul is 10, penalty's 10 yards from the spot of the foul. Replay, first down.
Hey, you mentioned, Dave, that Evangel Christian made the trip all the way here from Louisiana. Had their expenses picked up for making the trip out here. De La Salle did not have many expenses, but got about $6,000 to $7,000 out of putting on this game tonight.
Played at Suwanee, Florida, about a 13-hour bus ride. Also to Hoover, Alabama. They lost that game to the Alabama State champs. Hester on a little screen pass left side, some room. They call the freight train for good reason. Oh, he's just blasting through tacklers. And he's got first down yardage.
Good running backs finish the run. And Hester finished that run. At the end of that run, he lowered his shoulder when he knew he was going to get contact, and he delivered the blow. He didn't take it, he delivered it. Watch the end of the run. Watch him finish this run off right now. You see that? Dip the shoulder, deliver the blow. That's what the good backs do.
6 foot, 235-pounder, just bowling over tacklers. You're right, that initiating contact, a big key for him.
Yep. He's learned that, learned it well.
1,592 yards and 24 touchdowns right last year. It's been a different season for him with a different sort of offense now that John David Booty is gone. Pass incomplete there, looking for Parker was Duran. He was facing two men blitzing. So a minute 41 to go here in the first half. Let's go back to Reese Davis in the studio to tell us what's coming up.
All right, Dave, Trev Alberts, Mark May with me. We're seeing the best California and Louisiana have to offer. We'll check out the best Florida has in our high school showcase highlight.
We'll talk about how high school football is so much different today than it was when we played high school football, guys.
And I'll tell you who will be the difference maker tomorrow in the SEC.
In addition, we will discuss the issues surrounding Evangel Christian Academy as soon as you guys finish up the first half.
Gentlemen, thank you. Here it's second down to Ron. That 10-yard shotgun. It's so deep. Finally, he's dragged down from behind. Took him a long time to finally catch him. And Ron has got that ability to scramble.
Well, it's almost not fair that he's playing quarterback. He was forced into the job. He was a wide receiver really by trade. Quarterback the freshman team a couple years ago. But because John Booty left and went to USC, and then they had a transfer come in from Texas who was ruled ineligible. And so the job fell to Duran.
Hey, read it. A minute 15 to go in the half. Back down to Rob Stone.
Hey, guys, more on the Duran situation. He told us he wants this to be a one-and-out situation. His strength, like you guys mentioned, is a wide receiver. He wants to get back out there and be wide receiver. He doesn't want to play quarterback, but head coach has got the final say on that one, doesn't he?
And his dad does too, Rob, who's the offensive coordinator and the chancellor of the school. So he's kind of got some pull over his son there, who told us yesterday, yeah, I'd rather be a wide receiver. And it turns out when he was a freshman, he was working out with the varsity as a wide receiver, and also had to quarterback the freshman team.
If they go to 3, come back to the smash. You understand? Come back to the smash. Now look, here's what we're doing. Look. Y'all come in here. Come in and get quiet. Let's go.
Get in here.
We're doing good. We're doing good. Let's go.
Going in, boy.
On the right. Let's go regular. You ready? Let's go regular. Give it let's go. 0 flag and 7. 0 flag, 7. And run. Let's go.
You heard him call for a flag, a 7 route, a corner route, and a slant off of that. So go with their regular formation, which is 4 wide receivers, and a slant and a corner route.
So off that last sack from Mike Pattori. We'll see if the play works. Duran under pressure. It's intercepted. Dominguez jumps in front of it and makes a great play. Mike Dominguez, who's been one of the top running backs of this team, showing what a two-way player is all about. Big pick.
Move your feet. You're getting us killed out there.
Well, you heard his coach ask him to move his feet or tell him to move his feet, but that's just a great play by Dominguez. I mean, that ball had incompletion written all over it, and he made a diving interception. That's just a little bit of want-to there to make that play.
You see how De La Salle handles just a minute 12 left in the second quarter clock remaining. Terrace stays out there. As Rob reported, it appears the evening is done for Lapina. The starting quarterback, perhaps a knee injury. Kelly again, Terrence busts through. First down and much more. To the 39-yard line of Evangel Christian Academy. Another huge run, 28 yards for number 28. They have, in fact, discovered a great running back who used to be a tight end here.
Well, he is really the most underrated player on this team. Colvin gets all the attention, and deservedly so. But this guy is a great athlete. He can really play. I think at the next level, I don't think he's a running back. I think he's a guy that'll play the strong safety spot, maybe the free safety spot. But he can play at the next level.
Clinton E. Stewart eventually tracked him down, not before a huge game from Terrence Kelly. We told you Oregon, Cal, Washington, Arizona State are some interested schools.
It's kind of cool to be able to say the next level and be talking about college and not the NFL, you know?
And many players on the field tonight will be involved in major Division 1A programs next year. Coach's son, Danny Lattisour, 23, is the man in motion, some movement. Looks like the left side of the offensive line may have jumped a bit early. We'll see. Hey, Sean.
prior to the snap, false start on the offense, 5-yard penalty, repeat first down.
Well, one thing Evangel Christian.
Last play. Right.
One thing Evangel Christian has to do, when that man gets back on the field, Colvin, they have to give him room because he's the one guy that can line up outside and run past their corners.
Had to miss 5 games, did Cameron Colvin this year, the start of the season, because of some summer school problems where he didn't catch up academically. He was taking courses but didn't have enough of the credits built up, and he was suspended for the first academic quarter, which happened to be 5 games. So it wasn't laid down in Concord to do 5 games, just that was the quarter. This is Glasper over the middle, and he makes a great catch. Willie Glasper brought it in, stumbling forward to the 18-yard line of Evangel Christian. What a grab.
Oh, wow, nice play. They just sent 4 guys straight down the field, and Gutierrez had his choice.
Timeout.
Made the best decision. You see Colvin flying down the field. You see 4 guys flying straight up the field, putting pressure on the safety. He had to make a decision as to who to take, and that left Glasper all alone inside. And what a catch he made. Look at that. Got the hands underneath it. Protected the ball from the ground with his back. Good job.
He is a senior. Makes the 26-yard pickup. Goals to play in the NFL. Well, here are some of the schools interested. Oregon, Texas, USC, Florida State, Cal, UCLA, Washington, Arizona State. All have had some sort of contact with Willie Glasper. That's quite a list.
Hugo! Give me a football like I said!
Quad left, good. Quad left, yeah. Stand
Terrence, get back in there.
Go to quad. Go to quad. Moves that guy over there. Yeah, you run 8. The slant. You run in the slant. You're right inside. There's nobody there.
About 3 steps and go.
Okay.
Hey, if he
find out where the safety is.
Hey, Anthony. If he opens right away, Cameron, hit him. If not, get Willie on the wheel.
No. 5 steps.
Wheels on both sides? I say 3. 3 step. Wheels on both? Yeah.
All right, so we've got a 3-step action coming up. You've got 15 Glasper, who's going to run a wheel route, getting outside from his inside position. Colvin, 26, ought to be coming inside. You see the total yards, 228 for De La Salle, dominating in the first half.
So apparently just over a minute 20 was plenty of time for De La Salle here with a backup quarterback in Gutierrez. He's throwing here over the middle. Stroud has got a touchdown, De La Salle. 18-yard touchdown play. Gutierrez to Stroud. And it's a 16-point De La Salle lead.
Well, we heard them talk about it on the sideline. The slant on one side, the wheel route on the other side. He went with the slant, got Stroud. Great leaping catch.
First touchdown catch of the year for Alex Stroud, the senior. His coaches told us yesterday he's got all the tools to be a Pac-10 level recruit. Loves former Iowa Hawkeye Tim Dwight. Return man in his day in the Big Ten. Some NFL time, of course, for him. But Stroud just hasn't put it all together, the coaches tell us, in terms of the whole package, the mental approach and the tools.
Well, it takes a little bit of time for everybody. Some people get it quicker. I'll tell you one thing, on that play, he put it all together. Timing, ran the route, got the hands up real high. And how about Gutierrez? Coming in off the bench for Lapina. That ain't bad. I think Big Brother's pretty happy with young brother Gutierrez right now. The folks at Michigan getting ready for their ball game, watching tonight. Happy for the youngster, huh?
Alex Stroud's first touchdown catch, Rod. First touchdown pass of the year for Gutierrez. And a very quick drive, all 22 seconds, and they'll try to go for 2 here. Make it a 21-3 game. Father and son discuss what they can do with about 50 seconds in the first half.
Now, you know we have a rule. You do not go for 2 until the 4th quarter.
Pass play, drops. Looking for Glasper, and it falls incomplete. Willie Glasper was open there, trying for the conversion catch, and it falls incomplete. 52 seconds left.
Well, he had him there. This pass was just a little bit short. You'll see Glasper have to reach back for this. This ball is short. See that? Right there. You notice how all of the De La Salle players wear 2-digit numbers? They don't have any player on the team that wears a single digit.
Why is that?
It's not part of a team. You can't be a team if you don't have somebody helping you. That's their motto. You got to have 2 digits. You can't just have a 3. 3 is by itself.
This is not the home field of De La Salle. Owens Field is in Concord, just about 6 miles from here. Interesting to note yesterday in their home stadium, no signs whatsoever about the streak, about national championships, about how great the team is. Just very simply home of the Spartans, as if it's any other high school. It's understated, and it kind of goes back to the teamwork philosophy you're talking about with this team.
Well, that philosophy and also the philosophy of the school. I mean, De La Salle is a very good school, and they have students there that do things other than football, and they're very accomplished, and they're very proud of all that, and they kind of take it all in stride. It's part of what they do at De La Salle.
Dietrich James, Jacob Hester, the deep man. Great kick from Guillot. It'll be Hester at the goal line. Jacob is crushed. Shy of the 15 with 47 ticks to go in this first half. And a special teams hit made there by Nick Markey, number 43. And Duron comes on. Not much time remaining here in the first half.
Just give him a minute, okay? Thank you.
Hey, play loose!
Was Kevin Lapina on the sideline. Fortunately for him, on crutches, as Rob Stone reported, apparently his night is through. Hope that he recovers, though, in time to keep the streak going for De La Salle. Duran, of course, the shotgun. His ball is tipped, it falls incomplete. Penalty flag down as well. Chris Biller came in, 51 in the green jersey, and got a piece of it. It's holding.
Well, if you're Evangel Christian right now, you're thinking, okay, didn't work on first down. Let's get out of here at halftime. Let's just take it in. Here you see the pressure coming. They're trying to run a screen out.
Holding
Not
by
gonna
the
happen.
offense. Penalty is half the distance to the goal from the 11.
Right in the middle of your screen, you see the hold.
Matt Drosba was dragged down to the turf on that play. Penalty number so far. And it's done on the right with the ties, the head coach. Denny Duran, the chancellor of the school, is the offensive coordinator who succeeded Terry Bradshaw at Louisiana Tech and was an All-American quarterback, was Denny Duran, twice in Shreveport, or in Ruston, excuse me.
Evangel Christian has to be careful. I mean, De La Salle still has, timeout they can use. They could get the ball back in good field position. They can't let this get out of hand for them right now, Evangel Christian.
We're all going to come.
Still some time left to pick up that ticket for the 50-50 raffle. Remember, the winning ticket will be chosen during the third quarter.
Bring them all to the side. Come on.
You guys in the game? We got 43 seconds left. We're still in this ball game. Let's get out of here. You understand? Here's what we're going to do. Here's what we're going to do. Look. Hey. Get in belly and hold on to the football. You understand? Audible and belly.
Let's go, Austin. Austin.
Run the timeout. Let's go.
There you go. Smart call. Get out of this situation. You're backed up. You're down by 16. You can get to halftime, live to fight in the second half.
Denny Duran, the offensive coordinator, as you see Terry Edson, the D coordinator for the Spartans, who's orchestrated some incredible teams. Denny played with Roger Carr, Mike Barber, Pat Tilley, Fred Dean, Roland Harper in the 70s at Louisiana Tech.
Some pretty good names.
Wow. Talk about a loaded team. So they'll play it close to the vest here. Dietrich James stays on his feet, cuts back, and made a nice run out of that one. Plenty of first down, or close short of the first down after the penalty, rather.
What a great move. What a great move to get back and stay in bounds. He goes out of bounds, that clock stops, and he leaves his team in trouble. But he stays in bounds, clock runs, they got a chance to get out of this situation without something bad happening.
15-yard pickup, Dietrich James. He's got to shore up his grades a little bit. Right now, a junior college level prospect because of some academic issues, and he's trying to correct and get himself to the D1A level. That should be the last play of the first half. Gutierrez comes off the bench, 85 yards. Through the air, 5 of 7, and his first ever touchdown pass of the season. Denny Duran, the offensive coordinator, and his son, D-Rod, in some trouble. Back to Reese.
All right, Dave, I think we see now why De La Salle has ripped off those 144 games in a row. This is very high-level high school football, though. What's impressed you about the teams?
Well, I was so excited, Mark, to look at this team, De La Salle, and I've heard so much about them, but watching them, it's clear to me why they're so good, so dominant on offense. Proper pad level. You look at their offensive line, they got good, skilled people, but they're all about 6 foot tall. They're getting underneath Evangel Christian's defenders and driving them back. Fundamentally sound football team.
They also hustle down the field to play. And what else impresses me is when you look at this football team, everybody's fundamentally sound. Receivers catching the ball with their fingers, running crisp routes, defenders hustling to the football all the way down the field. 8, 9 guys around the football. I mean, this is a very well-coached football team.
We'll talk a little bit about some of the off-the-field issues surrounding the Evangel program. We continue at the half. Also, look ahead to another high school game from the state of Florida. Sunshine State wanting to show its stuff. Our high school showcase game of the week. We'll tell you what Carrot Top has to do with this game. You won't have to make a collect call or anything.
In a small town where winning is everything, a legendary quarterback learns life's most important lesson. It's never just a game. Read Bleachers, the new novel by John Grisham.
It's Ashley's 10th birthday.
Give me some. Oh, cool. New Juicy Fruit Staffleberry.
Why wait for relief when there's new Alka-Seltzer Plus Ready Relief tabs?
The Juicy Fruit Classic, a little high school football action. De La Salle's won 144 consecutive games, and it looks as if they're going to make it to 145. Evangel Christian from Shreveport, Louisiana, down 19-3 at the half. Evangel Christian Academy is the education arm of the First Assembly of God Church. A decade and a half ago, the school didn't even have a football program, but you saw in the first half offensive coordinator Denny Duran, who's also the chancellor of the school. He brought in head coach Dennis Dunn. They've turned into a behemoth in Louisiana high school football. They've won 8 state championships and 1 national championship back in 1999. There's been plenty of controversy and allegations surrounding the Evangel program. Head coach Dennis Dunn remains a defendant in a civil lawsuit, which claims that he had a year-long sexual relation with a minor girl who at the time was a student at Evangel. Now, all criminal charges have been dropped. Authorities say a lack of evidence in that situation, but the civil lawsuit is still pending. Dunn stepped down as head coach for a year, but reassumed his coaching duties after the criminal charges were dropped. This past year, it wasn't necessarily sexual allegations, but religious differences that caused the latest flare-up at Evangel. Johnny Booty is a noted quarterback guru and the father of John David Booty, who's USC's quarterback right now, backup quarterback. He was fired as the Evangel quarterback coach because of a difference of opinion over a Bible study that he had started with Denny Duran. Denny Duran is the chancellor of the school and apparently had a philosophical difference over that Bible study group. As a result, John David Booty passed up what would have been his senior season of high school football, would have been playing tonight, and instead has moved on to Southern California. Evangel Christian has also been involved in some issues with the state of Louisiana and the athletic commission there. Some little disputes. You heard in the first half the quarterback who was ruled ineligible. And I know that these programs, guys, are the aberrations. They're not the norm in high school, the powerhouses who play the national schedules and so forth. But it's much different than anything that we've seen even back when you were playing, for sure.
Well, they don't have leather helmets anymore, Reese.
I was waiting for that.
Well, besides that, when I played I played high school football, you know, we traveled across the county, traveled across the city. We didn't travel across country to play teams. It was just a team that was the closest one to us. We were in upstate New York. Back in my day, as of course you said long ago, my high school coach had to call around the entire state of New York for a pair of football shoes because I wore size 16 in the mid-'70s, and nobody had size 16 football shoes.
Still don't have size 16.
You still have to order those made.
I think the difference, too, is you see the specialization in terms of these big-time programs. I mean, you see coaches who do nothing else but coach football. I mean, my high school coach was also my math teacher. He drove the bus to get us to the away games. I think the other thing is the specialization on the field. Players only playing one position, playing no other sport. My high school, you had to play all 4 sports. I played fullback. I played linebacker. I kicked off. They had to throw throw the shoe with the flat toe so I could kick off. I mean, you had to do everything. A lot different in high school back when I played than it is right now.
And with Evangel Christian right now, as I mentioned, some issues with the state of Louisiana. Right now, the state of Louisiana, the athletic association there, has mandated that schools play based on their enrollment as opposed to playing their competition level. That would mean that Evangel, which is a small school, a small religious school, would have to drop down in classification, and some have theorized that perhaps it would make it a less attractive place to play for some of the athletes from the surrounding areas who sort of line up to play there. So it's certainly a different dynamic for some of these juggernauts that you see ranked in the USA Today ESPN Top 25. Speaking of that, in the state of Florida, no slouches, and they take no backseat to anybody. The subject of high school football, a team ranked in the top 5 in the ESPN USA Today poll. Palm Bay taking on Cocoa. And Carlos Graham plunging in. Now, Coco's in the red. Now, we got teams both wearing dark. I think the reason for that is the team in red, Cocoa, Carrot Top is an alumnus of that school. So you wear red on top at any opportunity in that case. It's 20-7. You see Quentin Bakes slamming in there as Palm Bay is rolling at 26-7. Dwight Sliger going off tackle for the two-point conversion. 28-7 for the number 5 team in the land. And here comes James Rowe sticking it in there. It's 35-13 now. They're just about to get to the end of the third quarter in that game. Of course, we have a huge Saturday of college football on the family of networks. Both Northern Illinois, Bowling Green ranked in the Associated Press poll. It's the first time in 30 years that 2 MAC teams have met when both of them were ranked. Jimmy Dykes is on hand for the MAC showdown.
When the college game day crew comes to campus, you know it's going to be big. The reason why they're here, many people feel this is the biggest game in the history of the MAC in regular season. Northern Illinois, number 10 right now, currently in the BCS standings. Improving on that won't be easy. Bowling Green is second in the nation in offense. They have won 10 games in a row at home, averaging 52 points a ball game. Northern Illinois, they counter with Heisman hopeful Michael the Burner Turner. When the game day crew is here, you know something big is about to happen. 4 o'clock Eastern tomorrow on ESPN2.
Welcome to Oxford, Mississippi, a town shrouded in tradition. And at the heart of that tradition is Oxford Square, where the ghosts of traditions past and present meld together. Consider literature's past in Oxford native William Faulkner, or the present in John Grisham. And how about football tradition? Past rebel Archie Manning, and the present his son and Heisman hopeful Eli. Arkansas comes into Oxford, Mississippi Saturday, 7:15 Eastern on ESPN2.
Have I got a deal for you, but it's a one-day only college football tailgate special. Now, trust me on this one. Look at this little baby. But you better move fast, because word is the entire LSU coaching staff is out here this morning kicking the tires, trying to figure out how to slow this model down, because Auburn's version of the Cadillac, Williams, has been highly fuel efficient over the last 3 weekends, averaging 30 carries per game and 165 yards on the ground, including a school record 6 touchdowns last Saturday against Mississippi State. Of course, your mileage may vary.
You know what? Adrian was treading on dangerous ground there. SEC coaches cars. Very careful, Adrian. It was out on 19-3 at the half.
They are among the most storied rivalries in the history of college football. Michigan versus Ohio State, Auburn versus Alabama, and Oklahoma versus Nebraska. Now, Sports Illustrated brings you your choice of one of 3 great gridiron rivalries on DVD or VHS. You can't buy it in any store, but it's free with your paid subscription to Sports Illustrated. Now, you can relive the defining moments and greatest games of all time, from the past to the present.
To the 40, to the 35, to the 20, to the 10. He's all the way home.
Give the ball up and over and in, I believe. Touchdown. Touchdown, Auburn. There's the snap, the spot, kick is away. High enough. Good! It's good! It's good! Has his tight end Sanders. Instead goes deeper down the middle of the Rambo for a touchdown.
To the 25, splits 2 men. Now to his left at the 40, 45. He's got to go all the way. Touchdown, Michigan!
Call now and you'll also get a collectible Wilson mini football. Pick your favorite. Buckeyes, Wolverines, Crimson Tide, Tigers, Sooners, or Cornhuskers. Each collectible football is imprinted with your team's colors, logo, and national championship years. You won't find them anywhere else, and both the team football and rivalries video are yours free when you order 56 issues of Sports Illustrated for just $1.59 an issue. Save over 50% off the cover price. Your subscription includes the college and pro football preview issues, plus the world-famous swimsuit issue. Order with your credit card, and you'll get another incredible free gift. Sports Illustrated's exclusive College Sports Almanac. It's your complete guide to the year in sports for all major colleges, including stats, essays, anecdotes, and previews of key recruits, players, and teams. Don't miss out on this college football fan's dream. SI plus your free rivalries video, collectible team football, and College Sports Almanac. You may never have another chance like this. Pick up the phone and call to get your free college football package from Sports Illustrated. Call now.
Halftime of the Juicy Fruit Classic. Evangel Christian out of Shreveport, Louisiana, down by 16 to the #1 team in the land, De La Salle, out of California. Won 144 in a row. We've got some SEC football coming your way on the Family of Networks Saturday night. Couple of dandies here. Arkansas going into Eli's house to take on the Rebels, unbeaten in conference play. Auburn also unbeaten in SEC play, going down on the Bayou to take on LSU, which has become a bit of a nasty and bitter rivalry. As you take a look at the Wild Wild West, how about Ole Miss? Had to escape against Vanderbilt. They got beat by Texas Tech. They got beat by Memphis, but sitting there at 3-0 in conference play. Auburn 4-0, and LSU just a heartbeat behind, and the Bayou Bengals can match up with Auburn on Saturday night. Now, I know that none of these teams can afford to lose. Which one takes the bigger hit in the Arkansas-Ole Miss game? Which one can least afford to lose?
Well, I think it's Arkansas. I mean, I think if you look at Arkansas, they had a lot of talent coming back. The team starts 4-0. They beat Texas. People talked about Cedric Cobbs and how physical they were. And once again, they've started out slowly in the SEC. They've always historically come back strong. Bottom line is if they're going to reach their goals, get back, they were in the SEC championship game. They have to beat Ole Miss, Mark.
Well, the Auburn-LSU game, it's very simple. It's LSU. They've got the most to lose by far. They cannot afford to fall 2 games behind Auburn. If Auburn wins this game, they virtually lock up the West. In my opinion, they are the best team in the West. In my opinion, they're the best team in the SEC.
Oh, no, wait a minute now. I mean, I hear you. I think Auburn's in great shape. Don't forget, Ole Miss still will have that 0 in the loss column.
Don't worry about it. They play each other.
I know.
Season. Auburn will run the ball down their throat.
What about the difference makers in the Auburn-LSU game?
Well, it's got to be the running backs, without a doubt. It's Cadillac Williams and it's Brandon Jacobs. And if you look at these two, they're a tremendous 1-2 punch. You get Cadillac against Mississippi State, 6 touchdowns right there, 161 yards. But Brandon Jacobs, 6'4", 250 pounds, 182 pounds. This is a tremendous 1-2 punch that's difficult to stop.
I think when you look at my game, obviously the key is Eli Manning. I mean, here's a young man. He's done so well. And I think for Arkansas, they've got to find a way to get pressure on this guy. They've only got 5 sacks so far this season. Look at 17 touchdown passes. In last year's game, he had 414 yards passing. If Arkansas is going to win this football game, they're going to have to find a way to get pressure on Eli Manning.
You guys remember what happened the last time Arkansas went into Oxford, right?
I do.
They played about a day and a half. It took a while. It's 7 overtimes, and there's more excitement on the way on Saturday night. We're certainly looking forward to that. Second half is coming. De La Salle trying to run that winning streak to 145. Anthony Gutierrez to Alex Stroud. Spartans up by 19-3.
Live up to the hype for LeBron James. Basketball's back, and not a moment too soon. The NBA on ESPN returns with a Wednesday doubleheader as T-Mac and the Magic take on the Knicks. Then, LeBron James makes his NBA debut as the Cavaliers face the powerful Kings. Magic Knicks at 8, Cavaliers Kings at 10:30, Wednesday on ESPN.
At GM.
We welcome you back to the Juicy Fruit Classic here in Northern California. Top-ranked high school team in the nation, winners of 144 in a row, right now with a 16-point lead. They are the halftime stats presented by Juicy Fruit. A lot of total yards, big advantage certainly for the Spartans, 246 to 103. Rushing game, a big advantage as well, and close to 2.5 minutes of time of possession. They thought it might be a little more of an advantage for the Spartans after 24 minutes of play, and just these shorter quarters in high school football. They've run Rod Gilmore. Thoughts from Rob Stone in a moment. Your thoughts of the opening halves we've seen so far here tonight?
Well, I think the thing that jumps out at you is the way that the offensive line and defensive lines of De La Salle just dominate in the first half. I mean, they just controlled, and it's not because they're stronger. They're just quicker. They're getting the first punch in, and that's making all the difference.
I guess more fundamentally sound. Certainly is just about 218 yards per man, the average in the offensive line, and Terrence Kelly took advantage of the running back, the converted tight end, very effective in the opening half.
Yeah, he runs like this. He won't be a tight end for anybody anytime longer. Great hole inside, and then you see Kelly waltzing into the end zone. Now, this one is a little different. He has to show you a little strength, a little power. He finishes off that run to get into the end zone, but it's really the work of the line up front that's made a big difference in this ball game so far. They've dominated the entire first half.
There are the leaders for you after the first half of play here from Northern California, just about 6 miles from the campus of De La Salle. Kelly 79 yards and a couple of touchdown runs. Pina, the quarterback, was lost to a knee injury, and Gutierrez came in and played very well. 5 of 7 through the air, 85 yards and a touchdown. His first touchdown pass of the season for the backup.
So Gutierrez will step in.
Let's go back down to Rob Stone.
Well, Dave just spoke with Dennis Stone, head coach of Evangel Christian, said, boy, we have got to play with more passion this first half. We're playing like we're playing on TV. Admitted these kids are scared. Got to have more protection. We've got to air that ball out, spread them out, and get the ball downfield. On the flip side, talking to De La Salle's head coach, you know, Bob Lashore, I kept quizzing him and asking him about adjustments. Things are going wrong. What's good? He just kept smiling. He's like, everything is fine. We're okay. The only thing he really hinted to me, special teams, a little case of nerves early on, but he expects a big play from his team this second half, probably from the special teams. So keep an eye on that.
Back it up, back it up, back it up, back it up.
All right, we're having some problems with our audio here. We'll get everything corrected as soon as possible. Thanks to that report from Rob Stone. We'll see how the teams make their adjustments after intermission. And as we've mentioned there, for Coach Dunn, have been 2 losses this year. The defending 2-time state champions from the state of Louisiana, but have had to go out of state to take on some of the nation's best. Jennings to kick off. It's Glasper. Willie, 15 to the 20. Willie Glasper some room. Great return, Glasper, just a step or 2 away from breaking it outside the 40-yard line to the 42 of De La Salle. That's where they take over, a 39-yard return from Willie.
Well, you heard the talk at halftime. Rob Stone mentioned a big play in special teams. This is a pretty good start. This may not be the big one they were thinking about, but Glasper does a nice job of finding the crease, staying inside, nice move, getting in pretty good field position, 42-yard line. That's a pretty good start to the second half.
Told you about Glasper with all those possible